I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Tuesday, October 10th, 2017. Now, sorry I've got white on white here today. I hope it's not too much of an optical illusion for you while I'm doing this, but it is a little chilly here in Salt Lake. So it's starting to dress quite a bit warmer as going on here, okay? Now what we've got today happening with the astrology is we've got the moon here hanging out in Gemini, okay? So lots of thinking, lots of communicating going on, trying to figure out what's going on with your life, get right with some things inside yourself today, and all of that. At the end of yesterday, there was a lot of communication going on with other people, with the moon making a trine over here to the sun and Mercury. So really trying to communicate with other people about your life, about what's happening, about what's going on with you, especially about where it is you want your life to go in some way, with the square from Pluto coming in here. Really maybe having some hard conversations with people about where your life is going and about what's going on there that you're having to learn to integrate in relationships with all of that happening, okay? So I think that's a big thing that's going on in some way, trying to work some issues out in regards to your commitments and how they can get you in the direction that you want to go in, okay? So that's kind of what we're coming off of as we're moving into today. As we keep moving throughout the day, the moon does move into a square over here with Venus and with Mars. So not only are we thinking a lot about our relationships and about some of our commitments and how they can get us in the direction that we want to go in, and really trying to make some, you know, big efforts to have our relationships help us and move us forward. I think we're also here trying to figure out our daily routines, what we're doing on the day-to-day, our job in some way here, and maybe having some problems wrapping our mind around what is going on in our lives and what's happening and how we can better organize our lives. Maybe still with Venus still there in Virgo, feeling a little bit uncomfortable about what we're doing on the day-to-day in some way here, and how we organize routines and about the life that we have, really having to figure out how we can make some changes, I want to say, in our life here, especially when it comes to working with other people to really have the life that it is that we want in some way, okay? I think that's what's going on here. Moon also going to square Chiron, which is in an opposition to Mars and to Venus here as well. So bringing up some really hurt feelings, I want to say, maybe about the life that you have and what your life looks like right now. I feel like we're not comfortable with what our life looks like at the moment. We want our lives to change. We want to make some big changes to make our life be in a better direction here, and I think it's hard for us to make some of these changes. I think not only are we feeling uncomfortable inside about what's going on, where we don't want to stay with the life that we have, but also moving into a new life is also hard because it takes a lot of effort to wrangle a lot of people and a lot of different things and bring them together. And I think that's what is going on today with the moon here in Gemini, really having to think about what's happening in your life and about where your life is going and about what you want, and trying to work things out in your mind here. Gemini, as I said yesterday, not a very serious sign, so these aren't like super serious conversations per se. I mean, I don't know if I want to say that with like Mercury and Pluto going on here and Saturn, but I think you're really trying to work your mind around what is going on here, and just to communicate, to figure out like, what the hell do we need to do, you know, what's happening. And I think that's just a lot of what's coming up, is trying to do that. And I think if you can focus on communicating with people about what you want, about what you need, about what's going on inside you, and thinking about some things, because it is at the point of the T-square here, I think that's going to help you to resolve some of the tension that you're feeling about your life, about where your life is going, about why your life isn't what you want it to be, and about how people can help you move forward, okay? I think communication is the key. But while we're trying to communicate here with the moon in Gemini, we've got the moon also making an opposition here to Saturn too, really saying, okay, you can communicate, and communication is important, and you need to talk to other people and to think about what is going on in your life to get more clarity on it, but you also need to balance it with some beliefs that you have to make sure that your beliefs are in the right place, that you're making sense of things in the right ways. It's not just enough today to just say whatever it is that comes out of your mouth. I mean, sometimes that can be good, but I think in addition to just talking about what it is that you're feeling, you also have to make sense of it at the same time and really begin to put everything in the right perspective so that you can begin to move forward, okay? I think that is a lot of things going in with the opposition to Saturn here too. Also with Saturn wanting to do something new in your 9th house and really having to focus on getting something else in order, getting your mind in order, getting everything that's familiar to you in order before you can really start to put yourself out there in the way that you want to put yourself out there here. And I think we're trying to get that balance right. What do we need to be comfortable, but also at the same time do something out of our comfort zone that we haven't quite done before too, trying to figure all of that stuff out, as well with Saturn here in the square to Chiron, coming into a square with Chiron, which it won't do till the end of the month as well, making us very uncomfortable about some new thing that we have to do, or that we're starting to do, or that we're starting to decide to do right now and to really commit to, and really having to learn how to put everything in the right perspective so that we can feel comfortable moving forward, even if we're not comfortable. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's like you have to get the vision in mind. You have to see where your life is going in a lot of ways so that you can then get on board with it and move forward. And I think we're just trying to balance a lot of stuff going on here, okay? I think if we can work some of this stuff out and communicate about what is going on with us and make sense of our lives and try to readjust our lives, and especially our relationships, to be in the place that we need them to be in, I think it definitely is going to open up a lot of doors for us here to do something that makes us happy, with the moon sextiling the north node here, and to bring a lighter, more joyful vibe to us at the end of the day, as well as to really feel like you're able to break free and do things that resonate more truly with your heart and make you feel more free to be yourself in some way. I just think it's going to be covered in a lot of maybe difficult conversations here, and difficult ways of thinking. Hard to think about some things first, and I think you're going to have to get right with your mind and get right with other people and communicate about what's going on with you in order for you to really find this good stuff that starts to come in at the end of the day, as well as the trine over here to Jupiter, which is going to enter Scorpio as well. So the moon's going to be hitting that spot. Really having to not only think about your relationships and understand your relationships, but to really go deep. I think when the moon, when Jupiter starts to enter Scorpio, it's really going to help us to uncover some of these deep feelings that maybe we've had problems expressing, or we've had problems understanding. I think Jupiter, this is the way I think of Jupiter and Scorpio, is really going to help us to get to the bottom of what is going on, and to talk about the hard things that we don't want to talk about here, and to just heal some emotional wounds that perhaps have been coming up for a while, okay? And so I think that's what we're trying to do here, is to put our lives in a better spot, to feel more comfortable. But it's just been very difficult with all of these unexpected crazy things that have been coming up out of nowhere, and all of these like really hard turns we're having to make to redirect our life in the right way, and to make sure everyone else is on board with us, okay? And so I think that is what is going on here. It's like we want to open up some big doors for us, and we want to work together with people. It's just very hard for us to figure out what we want, where our life is going, and the people that can help us do it, and how we can work with them, and understand what we need to do to work with them in order to make it all happen here. And a lot of that is because of the squares with Venus and Mercury over here to Saturn, and with the square of the Sun and Venus and Mars to Saturn, and the Sun and Mercury to Pluto, bringing up some really hard, really restricting aspects where we got to take a lot of these changes and a lot of these things that we've been thinking about. We have to crystallize. We have to really crystallize them and make something out of them now in order to move forward. And sometimes it's hard to take all of this crazy, formless, Uranian, insane energy going on of big changes and intense feelings, and kind of bottleneck them and say, okay, we gotta take all this stuff, we gotta narrow it down, we gotta start to work on them, we've gotta start to commit. And I think if you're feeling some tension coming in here and not feeling too well, I think that is why there are things you need to accomplish, there are things that you want to do, there are choices you need to make, there's commitments you need to stick to. And I think we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this? How do we make the transition over to doing the thing instead of thinking about the thing and whatever? And I think that's what we're trying to work out. And I think communicating a lot about it today with other people is really going to help you to do that, and to just get your mind in the right place, okay? And then at the end of the day, the moon's going to move into Cancer. Hopefully making you feel a little bit more comfortable with everything, and really trying to focus on building and getting emotionally right with yourself, and more comfortable with everything going on there, although it is going to eventually oppose Pluto, bringing up some big feelings. But I think the goal as we're moving into the next few days, after we get all the insights and the information that we need while the moon is in Gemini, I think when the moon moves into Cancer, Cancer, in the next few days, it's really going to be all about how to start to feel more comfortable and more stable and to build more or less with all of the things that have come up to us and all of the decisions that we've made and all of the things that we've had to communicate with other people about where we see our life going. All right, I know that was a lot, but I don't feel like I've like really communicated that clearly in some of my other videos since I do them so late at night, and the energy has just been insane. So I was trying to do it a little overboard here. But all right, now your card for the day is the Ace of Swords, upright. Okay, this is a good card to me. It's a card of breakthroughs. It's a card of Gemini, where the moon is. It's a card of getting insights and clarity that perhaps you haven't been able to get before, okay? So I think it's gonna be a good day shrouded in like some hard aspects, you know? So it's like maybe clarity will come and insights will come, but only after you have the hard conversation, only after you deal with some hard feelings. And I think once you do that, and once all of the planets start to move and you get the moon here making that pretty aspect to Uranus and to the North Node later at night and making this wonderful trine to Jupiter, I think you're going to have a real opportunity to get deep and talk about some feelings that have been hard for you to talk about, okay, and to make some of the changes that it is that you need to make, you know? It's just trying to get there and hanging on and making sure that you're communicating about things, that you're thinking about things in the right way in the meantime, okay? So that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.